Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Mind Your Money. In today's video, I'm going to go over the fixed expenses portion of our annual budget. This was a requested video, and I'm trying to help others who want to get 1 month ahead on their expenses. And share with you how we did it using this expense tracker. This is an annual budget that I have created here in Excel, and it is convertible to Google Sheets. So I have the entire year of 2022 planned out. I have all of the short-term savings goals that are listed here, aka sinking funds. We call them purpose funds. This is customizable to you. So in column A here, we list out all of our expenses. Everything that has that's at the top here is considered a fixed expense because it has a due date and we need to pay it every month or we're going to lose access to one of these things. Everything at the bottom below where it says 3 boys, those are expenses that are considered variable because they will change from month to month. Savings challenges are variable. The emergency fund and how much we put towards that is variable, and it doesn't have an actual due date. That's a goal that we've set for ourselves to put money aside each week. So what I'm going to talk about today here, there's a total column. This total row here at the bottom is going to calculate how much your expenses are, fixed and variable, for the month, every month of the year. So I've already planned out how my 2022 is going to go as far as our budget is concerned based on the lowest numbers we could find. So there are 3 tabs here in this one spreadsheet. This is the expenses tab where you budget out all of your fixed and variable expenses for each month. And then there's a second tab that tracks your income. I'm not going to share that with you in this video, but it is available if you choose to purchase the annual budget from my website, TashaLovesLife.com/shop. Then it comes with a paycheck budget. So that way you can budget out your paychecks every single pay period, every week, bi-weekly, once or twice every month. And we're going to focus on this. So I'm going to zoom and hopefully make this a bit bigger so we all can see. So focused on everything here, I'm going to highlight. These are the things I want to focus on. Rent, food, because this is our 4 walls, electricity, gas, heat, that's a utility bill, car insurance, life insurance, mobile phone, internet, gas, fuel, and Easy Pass. These are all of our fixed expenses. We don't currently own a vehicle. We have a non-owner's policy right now that I can explain in a different video. So there's no budget amount for gas, fuel, or Easy Pass. So let's just then focus on these. These are our fixed expenses, myself and my husband's. So we have to pay, right? Rent to live. We also need to buy food. I did not include this in our variable section because we are on a sort of a strict journey. So I know not everyone will have groceries or food or eating out in their fixed expenses. Electricity is a need, right? That's a fixed expense. Our gas heat is a need. That's $50 every month. Car insurance, that's a need. Life insurance policies, some people might say that's a want, but I say it's a need, especially since we're on a journey to building generational wealth. Mobile phone is a need. We don't have a home phone. We don't have a landline. I don't think we need one in this day and age. It may be helpful in some instances, but we just use our mobile phone for mostly contact for everything. And of course, internet. We all need access to the internet, so we pay Spectrum every month to have access to the internet and on all of our devices. So these are all the things that we basically cannot live without. They must be taken care of first. And we are 1 month ahead already on our expenses. So what this means is all of these expenses that are listed here for January, we already saved to pay each and every one of these in the month of December. So when we crossed over into January, we don't need to worry about using January's income to pay these bills. And I want to walk you through sort of a step-by-step process on how to get this done. So if you total up all of these, we can total up the $1,200 for our rent. And I'm just using mine as an example. I know everyone's fixed expenses may look very different, but the concept here is you're going to basically find out, combine, calculate all of your fixed expenses. How much is it going to cost every month for you to pay those fixed expenses? And then you divide that number by the amount of paychecks you have. And that's the number you're going to use to put aside every week until you get to the full amount. So let's just try this. $400 for food, that's our fixed expense. $50 for electricity, $50 for gas heat, $65 for car insurance, $69 for the life insurance policies, $94 for our mobile phone, and $55 for the internet. That is a total of $1,983. So now what we're going to do is we're going to divide that number by the number of paychecks. Now, everyone doesn't get paid weekly like we do. Some people get paid once per month. Some people have a totally different schedule that might be different from bi-weekly or twice a month in the first and 15th. We'll divide that 1,983 into the number of paychecks that we get, which is 4. And when we divide that number, here's what we get: $495.75. That $495.75 is how much I will be putting aside each week in the month to get ready for next month's bills. The fixed expenses in January are the exact same dollar amount in February. So basically that means I am going to be taking that $495.75 each week in the month of January, and I'm going to put that aside into a separate account so that I could pay February's bills. Now, I know everyone might not be able to do that amount when you're starting out. So this is my suggestion, and this is what I did when helping my family get to 1 month of expenses saved in a separate account. I started with one fixed expense at a time. So I started with the lowest. Now, our lowest expense right now is our electricity bill. Usually it's under $50, but I always round up on my expenses and round down in our income to make sure we can actually afford to pay for them. So on average, my bill is about $42 to $43. Sometimes it could be even less, but $50 just felt safe for me. So with $50, I know, okay, I'm getting paid on the 7th of January. If I'm just starting out, I'm going to pay my electricity bill. And then in some other area, if I have to cut another expense, or maybe not eat out that week, or try to lower our grocery bill, something like that, I will take an additional $50 and transfer that over to a separate account so I could be getting ready for the next month, for February. So that's what I did. If that's too much, here's another option, because we also have rent, which is $1,200. And $1,200, I don't have the money to put that aside in 1 week. So what I would do is I would split that into a number of payments that's easy for me. So maybe I start putting $50 a week or $100 a week, or every time I get paid aside, so that I could be saving up to pay rent in advance. This took me about 3 months. The reason why it took us 3 months is because we did get stimulus in 2021, which is what helped us push this up further. We did get tax refund, so we used our tax refund to help us save up for these expenses. But the easiest way to get there is to start small. Start it with the lowest expense, which is our electricity for us, and put that aside. So I had enough within our budget, and you have to budget. This is how we budget. We figure out how much income we have coming in, how much our expenses are, and then where do we put the money and when, right? When do we pay these bills? How much money do we need to put aside to make sure that we can still eat, have some fun, pay off some debt, do all the things? So $50 in one paycheck, I put that aside so that I could be done with that expense. The next lowest expense at the time, I believe, was our car insurance, because we had suspended the car insurance and we have like sort of a non-owner's policy that's basically keeping our insurance history open until we buy the newer car. So the car insurance was about $60 back then, last year. So that's the next step. I would just pay the car insurance when it needs to be paid, and then in the next paycheck, or even in that same paycheck, take that same $60 and transfer it into our 1 month ahead account. All right. So the first step was choose the lowest bill and put that amount aside when you get paid. Second step is to take the next highest or the next lowest bill, and you take that money, and when you get paid, if you're paying the bill, then you pay it twice. Basically, you take some money and you put that aside into your next month's bills. We're basically saving up, gearing up for being 1 month ahead. And it might take a few months, but it'll work. This is one strategy that worked for me. I did the same with my life insurance. And it's going to take some sacrifice. If you truly want to be ahead of your expenses and to be winning with your money, this is one way that you can do it, but it will take some sacrifice. Maybe you don't get your nails done that month, or maybe you don't eat out as much or at all. A little sacrifice for a big gain like this, it is such a stress reliever to know that you already have February's money in January. So when February comes, if your paycheck is late, if a deposit doesn't hit on time, if there's a holiday and it's an extended realization of funds, you already have your bill money, so you don't have to worry about not being able to pay it. That's a stress relief to say, okay, I won't go to Chipotle this month. I will just put that money aside into our 1 month ahead account. Next for us was our internet bill, about $55. I would do the same thing, even if I had to combine it. So that what I mean is, if I'm taking, I'll say, let's take our internet bill and our mobile phone. These two are really small. So what I'll do is I'll add those up. 94 plus 55 is $149. With that $149, I know I could probably divide that into the number of paychecks I have left in the month, and I would just put that money aside to take care of both of those. So let's divide 149 by 4 paychecks. This is how many, you can divide that by how many paychecks you have. 37.25. I would probably round that up to 40, just because I like whole numbers, and put that aside each week of the month. And then by next month, you already have your mobile phone and your internet in there. Now, here's what I would do, and I hope this makes sense to you guys. Taking all of your fixed expenses, mine are $19.83 right now, dividing them by the number of months that you want to get to it. Say you want to get to 1 month ahead in the first quarter of the year. So you have 3 months to do that. That means you need to put $661, this is for me, aside each month until the end of March. And by April, you'll be 1 month ahead on your expenses. Whatever is the easy amount of time for you. All right. I don't feel like anyone should rush it because you're comparing yourself to someone else's budget or someone else's financial plan or makeup. What we should consider is that you're already on the right path when you're thinking about and planning how to become 1 month ahead. So if anyone has any questions, if I wasn't clear on something, please ask me in the comments. But here is our annual budget, and this is our monthly budget right here in this highlighted section for January. I do not include a line item or an expense item that says next month's bills, because next month's bills is already a separate count. What I do is I just calculate the total amount of our fixed expenses, and I put those dollar amounts in our budget each month. Okay, so it's going to be the same. This is fixed. Rent is the same every month. Our food costs based on our budget is the same every month. And the same thing with our utilities. They're going to fluctuate and change, but the minimum that we can expect is this. This is what we're going to expect. Our car insurance, our life insurance, our mobile phone, these things pretty much stay the same. If we don't pay them, then we don't have access to electricity, or no heat, or our car insurance policy cancels or lapses. Our life insurance would lapse if we don't pay these bills. So all I do is calculate the total amount, and because we're putting this money for February's bills aside in January. So that's how we do it. That's how we set it up. I like to see what this is and what I'm going to do after the month passes and some of these bills hit the credit card, or they become due. If the amount changes, I have added to my annual spreadsheet an actual section right here at the bottom. So this section here is all of the expenses that we have, and anything that changes, our giving, our rent, food costs, utilities, car insurance, life insurance, all of these things, whatever the amount is that's actual, I'm going to type it in here and compare it with what I have going on in what I planned. So I still know that whatever the amount of these fixed expenses will be, I divide that by the number of paychecks that we have, and I will put that money aside each week. And again, if you're just starting out, start with one expense at a time. Hopefully this has helped you in some way. If you have any other questions, if you need anything explained or re-explained, please put them in the comment section. I will definitely try and make sure that I can respond to you as quickly as possible and be clear about this. It is so much easier for me. It works for me to see all of my fixed expenses typed out and the amount for each month of the entire year. And then if anything changes, I type that in the bottom. But because we're already a month ahead, it's easy for me to know how much money to put aside with each paycheck to get ready for the next month's bills. So if you're starting out, again, start with one expense at a time, or maybe if you have two low expenses, or maybe you have a quarterly expense, start with two. Divide that by the amount of time you have to get an additional payment for each of those expenses, and then save that amount of money up for that period of time. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, again, let me know in the comments, and continue to mind your money, manage it well, and live your lives abundantly. Thank you so much for being here. Bye for now.